Welcome to Yeshiva Daf. We're holding in Bava Daf Peizayin. Ashir sponsors Leilu Nishmas Am Yaakov Le'abas Yitzchok. We're starting the pivot on the base of the last line at the bottom. Tani Yidach Ridoim Sumo and Leboishes. We just learned that someone who is a sumo, the reader says there's no busha, you don't pay for his busha. According to this price, so there's another reason for it. Why? Similar to Peizayin Daf on top. The Cheder Rabbi Yehuda Poiter Mikol Dini Shavator. Reader says sumo is not part of the Torah. Any mitzvah doesn't apply to it. My time out, the Rabbi to reason Rabbi So the Torah says you have to do a mishpah between the someone who hit and the someone who died. And the Goyel Adom is the one who represents the one who died. Only someone who is in Makeh and Goyel Adom is in Mishpatim. Right? We learned that sumo, we learned in the previous daf, that the sumo doesn't have his basting. So he's not involved in this whole mishpat. He's not a whole mishpat, so there's no din at all. There's no mishpatim. So that's what we learned I said all mitzvah, right? It's all din Yeshiva Torah. Meaning all the mishpatim of the Torah. There's no bush of Chanai Bidoim, we call it mitzvahs of Mishpat Torah. This bride tells you there's no mitzvahs. Anybody has in din mishpatim, they go to Beis Din. Then he has the mitzvahs chukim. There's no mitzvahs, no chukim at all. This is interesting because Rashi brings over here, it's a build-up. In the previous daf we learned they spot mitzvahs Beis Din. So when they were learning the first price, they spot for mishpatim. Now that we know he's spot for mishpatim, he's spotting for all the mitzvahs. So in the beginning I said, whoever tells me that Allah is Rabbi that a blind person is Potter Mitzvahs, will make a big party. From here, by the way, you learn they have to make a party for a Sudas Mitzvah for something which is a mitzvah. The Yam Shlomo learns from here that Bar Mitzvah Bacher, you have to do a Sudas Mitzvah for a Bar Mitzvah. My time at mitzvahs. I'm not obligated, I still do mitzvahs. How should the Shabbos the other of Chanino? Now I heard from Chanino the following. From Chanino, someone who's obligated to do mitzvahs, he is greater than the one who's not obligated. The one who tells me Allah is not like meaning that I'm not obligated. I've been here to make a big suga. My time in the Chima Fagdino is to have good faith. If I'm obligated, I get more reward. So just to mention, we discussed this more in Shom Machshon and Adaf, just to mention Teis Kiddushin. Teis Kiddushin tells us that why is someone obligated is it gets more reward, because when you have an obligation, you're more worried, you're more responsible, you're more on top of things. You're doing something voluntarily is very nice, but there's no daigo, there's no worry. You get schar for being on top of the mitzvahs and worried about the mitzvahs. So the Mishnah. This is what Adam is more chomer than an axe. And Adam is having all 5 things. He pays for the if he caused a miscarriage. For sure, only nezek. He doesn't have chiyuv in mevlodos. Someone hurt. That's what we learned before. Someone hurt the father, his mother. They didn't cause a chabur or chayv chaver b'yom kippurim. There's no chiyuv misa on Yom Kippurim. Only chiyuv kares chayv b'kulam. It's chayv. Chayv b'yom ivri chayv b'kulam chutz ben hashavas. Person who damages every ivri has to pay everything except Shevis. It's not true shalom, but everything belongs to him. So there's no Shevis because the Shevis goes to the other. You have to understand how that works with a Bayan Rovelay. Someone who damages if it's Knani, Chai B'Kulam, has to pay the whole thing. There's no bushes by Avod. And as we learned in the previous daf, there is busha, we don't pay for the busha. They are the worst, meaning they have it's a lose-lose situation. Someone who if they cause damage to somebody else, they pot. Similar with a slave and a woman. If someone damaged them, they're chayav. If they cause damage to other people, we learn the Megillah in the Masechta, because then they're going to go and cause always damages and cause the husband or the master to pay. They do pay afterwards, as the Mishnah says. If the woman got divorced, the slave was released, then they have to pay. Someone who hurts his father and mother causes the chabura is chayv miso. Chayv b'chaber b'Shabbos is chayv miso. Potter mikulim b'shinidim b'nafshis. Potter me everything because he's going to be killed. And even if it was b'shoigig, it's chayv miso shoigig. Chayv b'knani shaloi potter mikol. He damages his own of the knani. He's potter for everything because the knani is clear to be his own woman. He's potter for everything. Someone who caused the damage to a young girl, who does he pay to? Now that we know that the father has shvach norim, he gets the shvach norim, which is the kiddushin. Rashi brings here a pasuk. Tais points out that the pasuk Rashi says when Rabbi Savir talks about Nedarim, Tais says that you say that you always say the pasuk, which is the pasuk pasuk, even though that's not what the Gemara concludes in kiddushin. That's the source. Says the Gemara, Chabal and Amidavu. So he gets kiddush, he gets to a Chabal. My time with the Afla Mikaspo. Now she's worth less. He gets the kiddush because he can marry to anybody he wants, even someone who's mukashrin, he has boils. But Chabalo, that he can't cause, he doesn't have the right to damage her. So maybe the Torah did not give him the right to get Chabal. So says the Gemara that Pizayim base. The father doesn't get Chabal, he gets only Kiddush. So the Gemara brings a question. We learned in our Mishnah, someone who damaged Eved Ivri. It's chayav in everything except Shevis. So even though the Ma'aseh Adayim belong to the Hadoim, he still has to pay. Right? So the same thing has to be with a daughter. The daughter, the Ma'aseh Adayim goes to him. So he should pay. So Lishko Shevdido. The question of the Gemara is, he should take Shevis. The Ma'aseh Adayim Achas Bagus De'avuav. So you're right. For the 5 damages they has to pay, the Shevis goes to the father. Everything else goes to the daughter. Similarly, brings a question. A person who damages his older son, he has to pay immediately. If it's a young child, so then he makes a trust. The word tells us in a second what it means, but he put the money aside for him. Someone who damages his young daughter, potter, doesn't have to pay. If anybody else damaged her, you have to pay him. You see, you don't pay her. It's only Shevis you don't pay her. And it goes to the father, because he gets the Ma'aseh Adayim, so he deserves this money. But everything else goes to the daughter. So you tell him, you pay the bar gadol. If he damaged other kids, you tell him, to pay immediately. He makes a trust, so say no more what it means. But if it's his own kids, Potter, he doesn't have to pay for his own kids. So you see what's the difference between his kids and someone else's kids. It depends. If the kids are supported by him and he gives them everything, he doesn't have to pay them. But if they're not supported by him, they're independent, he has to pay them. Says the more so when they're not supported by him, then he has to pay. If so, look at the end. That if the young daughter doesn't have to pay. They have to pay him. They have to give him the money. They buy him his own. Right? She needs to feed herself. Because you said that he's not supporting them. Even if you hold that by a slave, you can tell him, you're going to work, I'm not going to give you any food. You're going to figure it out in the night. You go collect money. How do you move there? You go work, call you an entire day. Go collect, figure out how you get your food. By Eved that you have a din to take care of him. So even a koshka have daughter, you can't tell him that. You can't tell him, I'm not going to feed you and you give me your money. So here, if you're not feeding her, of course the money goes to her. It says no, talk about whatever she needs for herself, she gets. But the extra money, that you give to the father. So if the kids are supported by the father, so then the father doesn't have to pay. It says the more so I explain the second price. So now you talk about someone else damaged them, they give it to them, and for a katan, you make a trust. If they're supported by him, he's giving you all their money, so then he should get their money the same way he damages them. So he says he cares about something that he lost, but something he didn't lose, like damage. He doesn't care. He doesn't. He wants Sheves. Sheves is what the Maaseh Yadayim is supposed to go to him. So he says, "Give me back the money." But Nezek, that whatever the kid is worth less in the market, he doesn't care, and you could give it to the father will say, give it to the son. What about Mitzvah? What about Mitzvah that you say the Mitzvah has to go to the father? So he says, there, he's just getting more money. The son went and found a $100,000 treasure. Father says, I'm supporting you the whole time. You give it to me, you didn't lose anything for it. But something that the kid lost, he lost an arm. Then the father agrees to give it to the son. He has suffering, and it comes for the world. So in other words, once there's two rules. You need to have the fact that the father did not lose anything because of it, and second, that the son did have something to suffer for it. So also these what about the case that there is suffering and it comes to the world and he does care? That when someone else damages, you have to pay to the father. I mean, also there the kabdono, he's a captain. Right? Or we talk about the case of the first brisa. First brisa is talking about the fact the father is not supporting his kids. Nothing. And you see, it means he's a tough person. So he cares about things even if they got it from the world. It's not a guy who is captain. Here they're supported by him. You see, he's a generous person. Only something that he loses money on, he cares. Well, something that comes in the world, he doesn't care. So the Gemara basically says that there's two brises. The first brise is someone's a kapton, so then you have to give the father whatever he needs. The second one is talking about someone's not a kapton, so therefore if they get from the world, they get to themselves. If he did it, then you don't tell him to pay. It says, you're supported by me, I'm not paying you. Maya segula, what's that trust we spoke about? You buy a Sefer is something that's always valuable. You give him a tree, a palm tree, and they eat the fruits from it. Okay, so that's his goal. Going back to the beginning of the Amud, the only thing the father gets is Kiddushin, not Chabol. Not even the P'tzia he gets. Says the Gemara, P'tzia Sakadaitach? What do you mean, what's the Chizur of P'tzia? All we talk about is Chabol. Chabol means that it caused her full damage. She lost a limb. Why? It says the Gemara, she's worth less in the market. She has a scratch. So scratch, she's not worth less. Look at that. That's not a question. So why should he get it? He scratched her in her face, and now she's worth less in the market. So he's saying not only Chabala, which is a real damage, but even a small damage like this, according to Rabbi Yochanan, the father gets it. So we find the Maskana of the Gemara is it's a machlekes, the father deserves that Chabala or not. Say